Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah and this is Vhagar, and we're working on getting her from a rescue horse to a Grand Prix level horse, and we're doing it all at home in our backyard. If you have been here for a minute, you've seen that we've already gotten Vhagar started under saddle since we brought her home, and right now we're kind of working on getting her to sharpen up her transitions and just really focus on the basics. She's done really well getting under saddle, but we need to kind of sharpen up those cues because she can be a little slow to react sometimes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start warming her up and take you guys along to see how we're working on that. Okay, so I have got Vhagar all warmed up and she has her bridle on now. I set up some cones in the pasture forest, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to work her inside the cones, and I set them up, they're in a big square, but I'll be working her in a big circle, and the cones are going to give me like concrete mark points, concrete references, so that when I go and I ask her to trot or to walk, we have a visual to know, okay, is she, a stride behind, 2 strides behind, so we can start sharpening that up and getting her more responsive and getting her working on the cues better. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hop on and I'm gonna start taking her around and show you guys what we do. There we go. Why are you stepping on it? Okay. All right, good pony. There you go. Okay, so like I just said, I have all the cones set up in a circle, so I'm gonna head over there and we're gonna work on our transitions a little bit more and getting her to focus and stay on a proper line, because as we've been riding, we tend to be a bit squiggly. So this will give us a bit more structure throughout our ride so that we can have a bit more to focus on. Like I said, we've already warmed up. It is a warm morning here, so I'm not going to ride her too long. We're just gonna focus on quality over quantity. And I'm gonna lead her around. And right now I'm just gonna let her do a full circle so she can see the area that we're working on. Because I haven't worked her too much in a circle. I tend to ride her like in the pasture as a whole. So she's just seeing all these cones, seeing everything we set up, and I'm giving her a chance to look at it before we go ahead and get started. And she is gonna have to, this is towards her pen, so she's gonna have to kind of push through and go past it now. But now that she is walking a bit more freely, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do 1 lap, and I'm going to go to that B cone, which is the cone up top, and focus. That was like a horrible, horrible circle right there. So that is exactly why we are working on circles, because our circles are not very round at the moment. So we are going to build on that. So since that circle was horrendous, we're going to round it back out and work on pushing her out and being round in this corner, because she is trying to cut it short. And I think that has a little bit to do with the hill, but she knows how to do a circle on a hill, so we're just going to push it, and then the speed, trot. And I need to sit. And this is where we're going to where these cones are coming into play, because we haven't done just a ton of precision work. And so as you can see, our circle is not quite round and we're drifting in and out a bit. So this is giving us a visual to focus on and push to be more round. And I'm not really focusing too hard on my diagonals. I'm just trying to focus on getting her to go around, maintain a rhythm, and not be stopping and starting and all that nonsense in between. So it is going to be a little bit of a challenge for her in this circle, just because it's not level. But here, see, she's trying to drift out of E. Get her picked back up. I'm gonna ask her to come down at B. Ooh. Walk, walk. There we go. So she and I have quite a bit of work to do in this circle. So we're just going to be practicing. We know she walks fairly well, but she's not wanting to walk around. And we are just going to focus on that. She and Shorty are both, well, Shorty / Ren, they're both kind of working through their separation anxieties. They're doing a bit better now than when we first got her out of it, but we're just going to keep practicing. So that was a bit of a nicer curve. At this cone, I'm going to ask her to trot again. So this is a very late transition, and we're not turning. So this is going to be a bit more challenging for Vhagar, and I think we're going to see a little bit more of her personality come out as she's being forced to work a bit harder and not just kind of putter around. So that was a bit better. She fought me. I'm gonna take her over to this B cone and transition, ooh, and down. There we go. So I wanted her to slow down, but not completely stop. I'm gonna take her just a little bit, take her to this B cone and ask her to pick it up again. So we're late again. So since we're late, we come down at B, ooh, and then I'm gonna ask her again. There we go. And the reason I came down right away, since she didn't pick it up, was it's easier for the horse to maintain the rhythm and continue going than it is for them to be doing these transitions. So when she picks it up nicely, we're gonna let her do kind of a little lap, feel it out, enjoy the break, and come down at E. Ooh. So she likes coming down. It's going up that's a bit more of a struggle at the moment. Once we get around, I'm gonna go over to that cone and ask her again, since I've asked her at this one a couple times. And this one seems to be a bit more of a struggle. So let's see, set her up. There we go. So that was a bit better. Not perfect, but better. But that's all we're looking for, is improvement. So there we go. You can carry it past E if she can carry it. That was not the best, but I was planning on bringing her down here. Ooh. So that was a bit delayed too. Our circle is extremely squiggly, so that needs a lot of work. Okay, I'm just gonna take her one more time. Whoa. One more time around here, and then we're gonna switch directions because it's pretty physically demanding, so we're not gonna do too much of it. So since she is trying to drift in, I'm just trying to push her back over. And you guys have to remember, when you're watching, she's a very green horse. So when you ask her to do things, they don't always look quite the same as when you ask a polished, finished horse. You kind of have to work with them a bit where they're at and just see how you can get them where you want to go. So that was a good walk. We're gonna push her around to this cone and go. There we go. That was better. Better, better, better. Try to get to B. And whoa. So that was her right side. So this gives us a good starting point. We've mostly been puttering around in our rides, just getting her used to having a rider. And now we're finally starting to ask her a bit more. And so we don't want to do too much, but this is a good kind of spot to see where she is with things. So at this cone, I'm going to turn towards the center and go all the way across and switch directions. So we're going to keep switching, switching. There we go. All right. So I'm going to take her one lap around this way so she can see the line going the other way. I'm going to work on shaping her so that she stays more round in the circle and we're not doing more of a diamond shape. All right. So she did a little bit better being round at the walk there. I'm gonna head over to this B cone and ask her to pick up a trot. There we go. And we're on the wrong side of this cone. There we go. So this is a bit of a challenge too because she is such a big horse. Turning in this circle, I mean, it's not a tiny circle, but getting her to maneuver her body around can be a bit of a challenge. So she's really having to think about what we're doing. Right now, I'm just trying to get her to maintain a rhythm before we do too many transitions. So there we go. That's a better turn. That was a better turn. Keep it round and walk. Ooh. There we go. So we need to work on, when we come down from the walk, maintaining our circle a bit better, because that one, as soon as we came down, she tipped in. So we need to hold her in that roundness a bit better. So I'm going to take her to that top cone on the opposite side and then ask her to trot. So getting her to come out. There we go. There we go. That was a little bit better. Come in, there you go. Round, round, round. There you go, hold it. Hold your circle, hold your circle, hold your circle. And then if you can hold it, we'll stop over here at this cone and walk. That was a bit better. At least it's staying round. We're gonna go ahead, keep her forward. I wanna have her walk again. Work on rounding her out, pushing her to the outside of this line. She's not wanting to go out. There we go. And then at this cone, then we're gonna trot. That was so much nicer. That was nicer as well. We're gonna come back to that same cone and then walk. Ooh. Ooh. Again here. Just gotta round out again. Come on. So that was a really, really late start. I'm gonna ask her, ooh. We're gonna walk again, and we're gonna go back to that cone and ask again. There we go. So if she would have stayed round, that would have been better, but she at least transitioned a little quicker. Come on, turn, turn, turn. very hard work. Okay, and walk. So it's pretty hard work getting her to focus on the circle. I'm asking her to give me a little bit more than what she's used to, work a little bit harder. But ultimately, I mean, I'm pretty proud with how she did. It was very squiggly, and I know that's not all her, but I think for day one of working on an exercise like this, it wasn't too bad. She did start responding a little bit better. So this is just something we're gonna have to keep working on and keep practicing. I mean, to do dressage, yes, you do a lot of big fancy movements towards the end, but it's all built on the same basic foundations. And so we just really need to work on ironing out those foundations and getting everything really clean at the lower levels. So we do these walk-trot rides, and we just focus on what are the little things that we can do and make them better. And right now it's transitions and straightness and getting her to follow the line that I set. But she's doing really good, and she's really trying to give me her all. But I'm really happy with that ride. I'm going to walk her around, let her cool off, and then I'm gonna hose her down and just let her enjoy the rest of her day. So I am so excited. I wanna show you guys. Her and Ren have finally passed their time that they have to be separate, so they can now start being turned out together. And I want to show you guys what they're like in the pasture. It's super cute. They're so sweet together. So I just can't wait to show you guys, and that's coming right now. So I pulled Shorty out so I could show you guys how they play with each other, but Vhagar decided she didn't want to participate. She's in her pen drinking water and hanging out in the shade. So I can't really blame her. She just worked hard, but this guy has been having fun in turnout, so I just figured you guys could see him. And oh, the sponge baths that someone recommended, they actually work. He's had 2 sponge baths. Not that you can quite tell, because he's a bit nasty sometimes, but he can be bathed now, so that's an improvement. All right, buddy, he's a sweetie. So if you guys want to see more of Shorty / Ren and Vhagar's journey, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed our video or found anything helpful, definitely hit that like and leave any comments. I do read through them, and I love seeing what you guys have to say, and it's so fun with some of your suggestions. I mean, that's how I got the sponge baths for Ren over here, and we will see you guys again very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.